True. I agree with you completely. Yeah. I think that's the biggest problem too, though, is we've been taught the wrong things about what money is and what currency is. I mean, money is gold, silver, products. I mean, that's anything you can trade for something of value. That's money, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Well,
money.
see, that's the thing. Once we went off those standards, any type of standard that has a way of giving a value that can be looked at and evaluated by different sources to say, hey, no, we think it's this. No, we think it's this. And then you come to a common valuation of that item. You're giving it a good, true, assessed value. But if you have something in air that you can't collectively really get your hands on per se, because there's nothing there to substantiate it, you have to go with whatever you're being told.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, that you're 100% right about that. This article that I'm reading, by the way, is free to everybody in Exactly. They just come in Exactly, and I just we give it to their. But you can find it on the internet too if you just type some of the keywords in and pull it up. But yeah, I mean, we got our own documents and stuff. So, but anyway, it says so now we know the truth about money, right? Okay, we all know the truth about money. Okay, here's the solution to all our money problems. Okay, and it's coming very soon to the internet near you. To open a business, simply go online, set it up. Your company will trade both online and offline. There will be no registration fees and no annoying documents to sign. There are no ID papers to submit, and there is no registration with the government. That means no tax ever. Then open an account with one of the many decentralized peer-to-peer alternative currency exchanges that are already available. These won't be connected to any bank, which means that you can transact anywhere in the world without using dollars, euros, or yen. Instead, you will trade with alternative currencies. Naturally, there will be no bank charges, no transaction fees, and certainly no interest. There will be no weird legal documents to prove your name, address, and identity. Criminals will be stopped in their tracks not by a police force, but by peer-to-peer reputation. Too many complaints will see a business being blacklisted, and nobody will trade with them. This self-management technique is already used widely across the web, and it works. Okay, off-the-grid business revolution is just beginning, guys. We're going to thrive. Exactly is an off-the-grid cooperative, if you want to call it that. And it operates outside of the conventional banking system. They don't register with the government. They don't pay tax. They don't supply reams and reams of paperwork just to comply. Okay, most intelligent people continue to run their existing finances in like CEOs and things like that. In my place, I never became a CEO. Okay, I never went into corporate world at all. I stayed out of the corporate world altogether. But I've met a lot of people in that space, if that makes sense. And they wouldn't easily be able to do what we're doing because they're already tied into the grid. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. So they already have all their documents. They've already got their registrations, their licenses, their trademarks, copyrights, patents, all that stuff. So it's really kind of hard for them to get out of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and to actually help your point there, one thing I like that you mentioned is with a lot of these different things, you can't mass produce them. That's the big problem we have is if there's an issue with the currency we have now, they just mass produce, and you have to open a bank account. And opening up a bank account takes a while. And then there's tons of questions, and then this information, social security card. So I was going to show people some small alternatives they can do. And one is they can go to Horizon, next Horizon. That's actually what Micah's working on himself.
No, everybody's involved in that. There's we got the development team from Horizon on board with that exactly. So,
Then there's another one I like, OKCash, and you would go to okcash.co. Literally, that's all you, and then you would just go to one of these and install a wallet, and then it actually makes money for you, because you don't need, unlike a lot of different things, you don't need a super powerful computer to keep accumulating. And then there's my good buddy Gold, if you want to buy gold. this.
I would buy silver, but we can get into that another day.
Yeah, we can. That's something we can discuss.
Whole another subject, guys. When you get a chance, type in this actually here. It's called The Great Crime of 1873, guys. Read that up, and you'll learn why silver is actually much more valuable than gold.
And
The Great Crime of 1873.
Then there's also Bitcoin, which blockchain.info. And what I found is, to get Bitcoin, you can do multiple things. You can join an exchange like Blue Trade.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually mine it if you get a fast or powerful enough computer, which is interesting because
I would suggest against that, to be honest. I wouldn't even get into this. Mining is how, okay, here, let me explain this a bit so you understand. Mining is really just how the coins are produced, okay? And then the network itself is maintained by all of the people that are running the software on their computer that has a perfect copy of the chain. Okay, so all the transactions are backed up on every single person's computer, okay? Everybody who's running Bitcoin on their computer, they are actually have the full chain backed up on their computer. So there's really, really hard for people to manipulate it and to change numbers in there without everyone else seeing that, hey, wait a second, that's not the same chain as I have on my computer. And it won't work. It literally, if someone tries to send fake Bitcoins onto the network, it won't work. No matter how great they think they can program them or whatever, it's not going to work because they will not verify with every millions of other people running the Bitcoin software, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. The way I actually got it.
Okay. So the blockchain is how new cryptocurrencies verified. Is that correct?
Yes, the blockchain is the public ledger. You want to call it that. Okay, it's the public ledger. It's fully autonomous, meaning self-governing, self-monitoring, self-amending. Like it kind of fixes itself, if that makes sense. If people lose their coins, there's really nothing you can do about it. It's still, you can go see it. You can see the coins are over here on this address, but there is nothing you can do about it. They're gone unless you know how to hack, I guess. Then you can try to figure it out. But even then, that's still not that's not wise either. So you got to have a fast computer. You got to know what you're doing. All that kind of stuff. I lost 0.67 Bitcoins because I secured them with a 12-word passphrase that I forgot.
Oh.
Beautiful, right? So I got about $350 worth of Bitcoin sitting in a wallet file that I'm probably going to send to a hacker one of these days and just say, okay, here, please just see what you can do. See if you can get something out of it. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Guys, I'm going to have to cut off in about 5-10 minutes or so. I would love to be here the whole time. I'm just, I told my dad I was going to be down here early tonight. And but anyway, let me finish this article, because when you get this article, you'll understand how gold works. You'll understand silver, precious gems, all of that. You're going to learn a lot if I just continue just reading this quick. And it's real short and sweet. So anyways, centuries ago, this is actually how it all began, guys. Centuries ago, hundreds of years ago, I'd say even thousands of years. Merchants traded with physical gold, silver, and precious gems. Carrying around this kind of wealth was dangerous, obviously for obvious reasons, okay? For this reason, the goldsmiths who fashioned and worked with precious metals became the guardians of those metals. They would physically store the valuables in vaults and guaranteed its safety. Instead of trading with physical gold, merchants traded with pieces of paper that served in effect as money. These were called negotiable instruments because, like a ship negotiating difficult waters, these instruments would be negotiated from one person to another as payment for goods and services. At any time, a person carrying one of those pieces of paper could take it back to the goldsmith and redeem it for the original physical gold. Try and do that now today, guys. Ain't going to work. All right. If a merchant wanted a loan, they could go directly to a goldsmith. The goldsmiths quickly realized that instead of loaning real physical gold, they could loan a piece of paper or a promise to redeem some gold at a later date. This promise, called a promissory note, was a piece of paper with an amount written on it. So confident and trusting were the merchants that they accepted and traded with written promises instead of actual gold. Of course, the goldsmiths betrayed their trust. they began handing out more and more pieces of paper as loans, even though they did not have enough physical gold to cover them. They literally created the money for the loan out of thin air. Ironically, exactly the same principle applies today. Banks fund cartels of debt collectors, liquidators, and lawyers who roam the land, collecting debts and auctioning off people's physical property for a fee.